kind of prevents the value of jumping onto him. Obviously, I mean, Skyster ends up getting low here. They gotta get confirmed. So they come back so fast.
Hopefully no one on the side of the sinker straight out. Otherwise, this might get hairy, as we're seeing.
Yeah.
But, sinkers are going to really close up, get these kills shortly here. And this should be all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, with these respawns, like, it could really be anyone's game. I mean, this is just a ridiculous stall out.
Yeah.
It looks like they finally capped. He didn't get the kill on Dong, so it's really anyone's fight here. But Flambo ends up falling. Not before Milo falls as well.
Got Sport Club is online. Tracy gets fallen through, and Fish still has his primal to hold on to. Dodges sleep and should be able to kill Paradox here.
Welcome everybody to the Aurora Esports Overwatch Clash Season 5 battle between the Farmington Fishermen and the Kathmandu Kiwis. Today we're going to have an absolute banger match for the final spot in the semifinals. I'm your caster War. Joined alongside me is Neptune, and we got Knock on Wood on the prod. Neptune, how you doing today?
Doing great today. Exciting match. Another step in our playoffs journey here, and going to, like you said, Kiwis versus the Fishermen. It's going to be an amazing battle of difference of comps, and like I said, everything's on the line here.
Yeah, and talking about that difference in composition, we know that the Farmington Fishermen, they had a very, very tight run to even get to this point, beating out the Corsairs, I believe, but they did it with their brawl-style composition. And talk to me a little bit about how they play this.
It's going to be really hard, I feel like. As we're seeing so far, they don't have Booney, so I think they are going to be trying to look to other comps instead of running that hard brawl. If they are going brawl later in the series, it's going to be finding their moments to run down the likes of Charb and Teddy on the back line, right? If not, it's going to be looking to bully PJ out to make space for that brawl, or just run down whoever they can. Either or, and then hopefully they can get into those old cycling moments for either team, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then looking at the Kiwis just overall, I mean, they've had a fairly dominant season, finishing with the second seed out of whatever division they played in. But they tend to play a lot of that Tracer, a lot of that Soj, a lot of that more dive style with a backline that can be extraordinarily flexible. But they are going to be down HV for this match. As you know, he was in Minnesota, which is contrary to the Aurora Esports Minnesota, not his home specifically. So he won't be able to make this match, and they have Teddy M in as a Gur ringer.
Gur ringers, But regardless, it's gonna be an exciting match, regardless of the Gur ringers, I'm really excited to go into Zilius already. I just want to start.
Yeah, and I feel like with the composition, with what they're planning to play, I think the Kathmandu Kiwis, they love Ilios. They took Ilios off of us, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think they did. But they look really solid on this map. They have this Ana backline that can just survive for so long because Mikey's on that Echo, Purple Jizz is on that Winston or that Diva, and they're just providing that inverse pressure.
Yeah, and I do recall now. Yes, they did beat us on Ilios. So it's just really important to understand if Fishermen can stabilize and bully out those flankers. And it is a different meta from last time we played. There's gonna be a lot more Pharah meta, right? So I'm wondering if that's what the Kiwis are gonna be kind of going for. And also, we do see Booney swapped in, so that means for the Fishermen are probably going to be really just bunkering down with their Rhine on points,
Yeah, I love the start from the Fishermen. I think it's playing into what they're comfortable with. But the good thing about the Fishermen is even though they're kind of locked into this brawl style, they can do it so many ways with so many different people on different roles. They have multiple flexible tanks in Booney and Yoda, but they also have Yoda, Invictus, Scent, and they can even flip Corey over onto the DPS if needed. So a very flexible team with a very refined style. I think that can do really well in the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. You know, it's gonna be like very, very flexible for the playoffs. You know, I feel like that's what we succeed in. But also, like we talked about, all these teams here know how to play their comps and what they want to play on, right? So playing to their guns, and we are seeing one of the first mug in the playoffs run, in my opinion, right?
I think this might be the first time Mauga has been pulled out. Did it get a buff? Am I
No, they have not.
correct? Okay.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
Yeah, as we get to see the TP out from Mikey, very characteristic start for the Kathmandu Kiwis, as looking to take the point, and they will get there a bit quicker. They are opting for this left side and the statue position. Booney's going to be on the Sigma, though, so that's a great counter pick into the Mauga.
Yeah, 100%. As you're seeing, like, we're just playing very slow until they decide to just go in for the slam and just huge brawl.
Yeah, and Purple G just pushes to the aggression very actively here. They have the position on point. It's actually going to be Loki who finds that first pick, but it's PJ with this stabilization, with the slam inwards, creating the space for his team. The Kiwis flip the point, and they take control of this first fight.
Yeah, no, that was great from them. And Corey does find a pick on Mikey, and that's going to be really important to be able to retake this now. And as we saw, like, I love the approach from the side of the Kiwis. Just, like, go for that engage, back up the point, and now that we have the space, let Loki kind of pop off. And as we've seen, just keep on bullying these rotates, like, aggressively.
Yeah, Corey is closing this window here, looking to come up massive, but has to lamp early and put down a lot of support for the team, but is going to be able to invest the window. But the stick comes out from Mikey, and it's going to connect onto Kathek. So a 1-1 trade as Purple Jesus falls on the opposite side. Teddy M trying to keep the team alive, dancing, weaving around point, and now it's going to be a Kitsune rush from Teddy M, but it's not going to be enough. Invictus with a Deadeye, and Booney with some great cleanup onto the point. Scent finds 2, and Farmington Fishermen take over.
They're gonna miss that Kitsune for the next fight, you know. But going forward, just like how are the fishermen gonna be able to stabilize? You know, Booney has this very important flux to probably even combo a Sentry on, and I'm looking forward to that because no one is gonna be able to survive this flux as long as they play and use it appropriately, right? Charb is just gonna be trying their best to build up this ultimate here.
Yeah, Charb looking for the ultimate, but Loki looking for this Deadeye. Could pop this off of the Flux, but doesn't really have the stabilization to stay in this. Multiple ults are traded out, though. The Mauga ult versus the Flux. The High Noon as well invested on the point. Trying to shield that off is Booney, but it's not going to be able to find enough. And now Centurion left visored onto the point and does not have the sustainability to keep in this fight. A team kill for the Kathmandu Kiwis, and the point turned around.
Yeah, PJ just pulling that trigger for that cage is what led their victory there, you know. And that being said, these next fights, you know, Charb has that beat still to like turn this fight into her favor, right? And I've seen just bullying the Sigma, just like waiting for them to get in their kill box, and PJ goes for this huge slam, forces out Mo, and let's see who wins on here. The side of the Kiwis are very low right now.
And the pulse from Mikey is gonna connect. It's gonna hit onto Invictus, forcing out the util on either side. But it is going to be the Kathmandu Kiwis who are getting this cleanup, getting this better positioning, and taking control of this map. It's just Corey left on the high ground position. He doesn't even have window, and he may not even have a chance to touch.
Yeah, but it seems like Invictus is going to be able to gift this touch here, and they do come back on fast characters with Kathek beat. You know, that could be the game changer, considering Teddy M still has to build their ultimate here.
And the beat is going to be invested here. Kathek gets his team back onto the point, and now Corey's set up on this high ground in a favorable position. Sen trying to get the stabilization, and Invictus is going to be the one to find the kill. Corey now with a bit of cleanup too, so this is turning in the favor of Farmington Fishermen. But Booney's back on the Doomfist, so will this composition be able to stand the test of time? As Teddy M does get one for the way out. A good trade onto Centurion as the point eventually flips over.
Yeah. No, that was a great engage. You know, I was a bit worried that they weren't going to find that value, but, you know, they got this window, Pulse to play for, and I'm really just scared of this Pulse, Kitsune, and ultimately Cage coming up this mid-fight here. And even if they lose this fight, they still get another recontest. But they're just trying to bully these people out and look for this rush off of point.
Yeah, above the aggressive ultimate use, and Charbatron finds Invictus. That's a great mark for her. Charbatron actually cleans up 2 on the point. And the Kathmandu Kiwis, they're just so good at this green light. They're so good at sending it in. It's sent on the point. But so many ultimates to face for the Farmington Fishermen. Kiwis will pick up the first point of Ilios.
Yeah, I was so worried that they were going to actually lose that fight because of like where the ult was placed. I was really worried that they weren't going to be able to follow and really chase anything. But you know, Charber's finding that amazing pick onto Invictus as well as cleaning up Booney just paved the way for that team to ultimately win that point.
Yeah, and I'd honestly love to see Sent on the Mei or on the Genji here. I know he's good at both characters, but I feel like they both work decently into the composition that the Kathmandu Kiwis are running. But looks like no major swaps other than Booney over on to the Mauga, but Purple Jesus is going to make one last second and swap into the Winston, something he's known for on this map.
Yeah, it's going to be very comp differential. You know, I think PJ may not be expecting this ultimate mirror, and we're going to see how the Kiwi or the Fishermen are going to be able to adapt to their team, the enemy team.
I like this. When in doubt, just mirror the composition. With Purple Jesus putting down a lot of pressure on the front line. The side of Fishermen have to back up. They have to concede the point. But Amalga jumping in is going to be the opening that Farmington Fishermen need here. Mikey's actually going to be the first one to find a pick. But Kathek trades out onto Loki. So both casters are now down in this fight. And Mikey's still putting in a lot of work. Somebody has to mark this player. Maybe not, as just a lot of cleanup towards the point. Booney and Invictus collaborate for 2.
Yeah, that was such a great job on Booney, just like going to that point and hitting that. You know, once PJ misses up that leap like that, that's such the opening that their team needs. And unfortunately, Sent did get traded, but and as we're seeing now, just this Mogmir and the Kiwis are approaching from the lower, probably gonna rotate point or blow up onto Booney. You know, whatever they see fit.
Yeah, the Reaper's gonna provide a lot more frontline pressure and the ability to get onto point and just put down a lot of pressure. Speaking of pressure, Mikey has the pulse bomb. Could click the trigger at any second on this, but doesn't need to. Doing a lot of damage with both those guns anyways. As Booney gets cleaned up and the point does flip over. Corey gets the trade back though. So still a very even fight here. Centurion looking to stare down Purple Jesus, but that's not somebody you want to face off against when they're full charge. Invictus trying to make some heroics happen, but the Kiwis look fully in control of this one. A beat invested though.
Here.
I don't know if that was the right move. It seems a little bit presumptuous here, especially when you have sustainability through the pulse bomb. Teddy M almost gets moved off though, but fighting for his life, fighting for themselves on the point against Kathek. And the stability is really good.
Yeah, and they ultimately went out. You know, great job from the Fishermen in realizing maybe they're not. Hold my words, hold my tongue. Let's see, let the finish this out here. And Mikey's the last one, 2v1 with PJ coming back, and now Booney's back as well. So this should just. But Loki's back too with Blossom. He might be able to use and win out.
I mean, if you're the Kiwis, you're happy with all the stall you got on this point. I mean, the amount that you got is just like so good. You take the lead and more, and you have all the ultimates to invest in this next fight. Mikey doesn't have his, but everybody else. And Mikey builds it so quick too.
Going into this next fight, I think it's so important. Like, as you see where Invictus staging, it's just gonna be so important to like crash out on their rotation. Unlike last fight where they kind of allowed them touch point, but right now they should be posturing, going right now. But and as you see, Booney engages cages, gets their backline caught.
Great trade of ultimates there. Booney trying to stabilize in this cage fight, but the damage is just too much. Loki on the Reaper is just the best character to have if you want to burn down a cage fight, take it out. So the swap over does work well for the Kathmandu Kiwis, and they do manage to hold on to some key ults.
Yeah. I think it's just unfortunate like how much they've invested over all those fights. Because look at the ulti combo from the side of the Fishermen, like they only have this beat coming up, and the side of the Kiwis have their double sport ults and their pulse that they can turn this fight. And I see aggressive Kitsune coming in.
Yeah, Kathmandu Kiwis very decisive with these ultimates. Teddy M clicks the trigger. The entire team goes in, leaving little room for a touch on the point. And even if there is one, the cleanup crew is here for the Farmington for the Kathmandu Kiwis. They're gonna find Invictus, and nobody's on the point to contest it. So
and Charb got that mark on coast.
Beautiful job there, denying the beat, denying anything, bringing the Kathmandu Kiwis up 1 in the series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of excited to see how this series keeps on going. What the Fishermen are looking to do next.
One of the things I will say about the Fishermen, though, is they have a lot of very balanced comps. Like, when they swap in Yoda, the composition does not get worse. Some could even argue it gets better, because the Yoda effect, it can just be so monumental. You saw it in the reverse sweep that it got them to this point. Like, when you swap in somebody like Yoda, he starts calming, he starts bringing energy, bringing hype to each fight. It can be really game changing.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, and I think that's what they just need to kind of keep playing for that energy and just keeping it up, right? That being said, like, where do you think the Fishermen go? I think it's probably going to be that classic Kings Row brawl,
I would expect Kings Row here, and I'd expect Booney to stay in on the tank. Yeah, and then Yoda goes in for Centurion on the DPS. That makes sense.
What do you think that means for the Fishermen? Because I feel like swaps way more.
Yeah, the Fishermen are gonna want to roll out on this, probably like a Rhine, May, Cass, Bap, Lucio. Just comfort picks for every single player, and then you use Yoda as this like flexibility on the teams. Like, he can, I forget what character I said he'd go out on, but he can swap over on the Genji, he can swap over on the Bastion, he can even swap over onto like a Pharah if you need him to. Can make the team a lot more versatile. If you're the Kiwis, you probably want to look to shut that down, or you just do what Purple Jesus says and go man on man, and we get to see some honest Reinhardt gameplay. I want to see that. I'm a big fan of some Reinhardt gameplay.
Yeah, no, I would be excited to see like both Rhines. I think that's also where the Kiwis are favored of. So a little bit of an ego channel right there, to take the Rhine mirror.
But yeah, Booney also known for the Doomfist here, so definitely will swap over onto that character if needed. I think both of these tanks, they probably want to start out on Rhine, but it's just, is the other tank gonna pick that Rhine? Is they gonna respect the man-on-man here, is the question. And we'll have to find that out when we get to the game.
I would never respect the man-on-man.
Yeah, that's because we're disrespectful people, Neptune.
Oh yeah, I'm pulling out all the stops, everything. Other than going to Kings Road like we talked about.
Yeah. The Kings Road does look good on both sides, but the Fishermen, I would argue, might be a bit favored here, because I feel like every time they have a chance to pick this map, which was, to be fair, is only 4 times. I'm listening to Purple Jesus in the chat, and the tier 3 sub is very tempting. He's offering it for the Rhine.
Booney's thinking about it.
He's considering it.
Oh!
Is this bait? You never know. We cannot be fooled.
He's charging now. He's charging now too.
Okay, there we go. Now we're good.
That being said, Kiwis would be like me, with that Bastion coming out, pulling that shield.
Yeah, I kind of want to see Yoda swap over onto the May eventually here if the Bastion doesn't, or if the Reaper pick doesn't come to fruition. It's going to be hard. I mean, he's going to hold these chokes just very, very close, but it doesn't have the long range capability that I'd look for.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I feel like this brawl for the Reaper is going to be very hard. Right now, this is where you would want to see Yoda be up top left and look to drop back onto the back line. Because they're never going to win this front to back, right?
Especially with so much damage from the DPS of the Kiwis. It's a composition to burn the Rhine shield. Purple just said go Rhine. I'll expect the man-on-man, the 1v1, but I mean against these DPS, it's just,
it ain't no man-to-man. There's no man-to-man here. This is just straight up bullying. Because like we talked about, like the DPS on the other side want to play like for that backline, but the Kiwi side, they're able to pressure this front line so much.
Yeah, and you can even see it here. Yoda just can't find that much value, doesn't have an opening because there's so much pressure there. Invictus tries to turn a corner, go for a flank play on the back line, but gets instantly blown up by that Bastion form. The damage from the Kiwis just too much, and Loki unleashes the tire too to hunt down the back line, taking the off-roads angle, seeing if he can find Yoda or even Cathvex here. And it's not going to connect, but it is going to get a lot of space for the Kiwis.
Yeah, and this is just even scarier, despite the Fishermen having this like window up, I'm really nervous, same goes for the Kiwis. They have that window, they have the Shadow, they have the Bastion ult to play for, and I'm like really nervous on Teddy. I'm just like ripping it here, and I'm sure they're playing for it right now. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, if the Kiwis are anything, they are decisive. A Fire Strike through a window can be one thing to just completely obliterate a fight. And now staring down a Junkrat and a Bastion, Cathak just needs to retreat. Invictus doesn't even get to keep his life. There's Mikey waves goodbye to the second point.
Yeah, and this is gonna be another fight, or sub-map of the section kind of gone. At least
Yoda does
Loki does die, yeah.
Yeah, might be the first kill, though. So it's still a very tall task for the Farmington Fishermen.
Yeah, and we still have the Fisherman's ults, even though, it's like a 5-minute time bank. At least they have ultimates to play and hold this corner on, and hopefully be able to turn this fight into a dub. And Yoda's just saging this top right, looking for probably a Blossom here, but has some way to get out.
Oh, and the Shatter comes in. It's gonna be the Deadeye Blossom combination with so many ults used for the Farmington Fishermen. Was that even worth it? I mean, the fight ends, but was that worth it?
When in doubt, trust Booney Shatter here. That's what I'm saying. I feel
true.
like Booney's gonna hit a big slam here on this corner. But I'm really nervous about Loki's ultimate coming out here soon.
Yeah, and the tempo is just so good. Mikey just melts Cathak straight out of the sky. And looking for more too, trying to take Corey off that high ground position. Booney has to completely back up, can't find any value for this Shatter when the aggression is so high. A trade comes in between Yoda and Loki. So now Booney looking for the Shatter, but gets absolutely melted by the window. And now time becomes a concern as Purple Jesus pressing the aggression, pressing forward towards the point. Teddy M with some good cleanup on the high ground, helping out the team, supporting the team here, but no ultimates to come in. Loki with the tire from spawn, looking to get some value and finds 2 on the point. Booney used the Shatter, nothing found from it. And it's just cleanup for the Kathmandu Kiwis. They get a team kill to close out this third point.
Yeah, there is no man-to-man here. All I'm saying is just shield break simulator. And the Fishermen, if they want to keep on taking this duel, they gotta adapt their comp, right? They gotta just kind of match that DPS lineup of at least the Bastion to just shield break the Kiwis as much as they are, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have no stabilization with the team. They're relying on Koi's lamp as the only thing that can keep their team alive, keep the core of their team, Booney, alive, basically. But when you're just getting out damaged, when your shield is on basically 10-second cooldown the moment it comes up, you don't have a win condition. That's what I'm saying, Invictus. I can't say that on stream, but that's what I'm saying, Invictus.
Yeah, no, mega dishonorable man-to-man for sure. That being said, we aren't seeing that amazing shield break come out of the Kiwis, But we are still seeing that man-to-man, but maybe a little bit more honorable man-to-man here now.
Yeah. I mean, Invictus, I think Invictus is just trying to come in here, trying to find a target and trying to blow them up with the Echo pick.
Yeah.
So the man-on-man kind of devolves. Booney is sort of just like a statue to push forward with, somebody to scare everybody off. I'm really looking towards Invictus and Yoda to finding a lot of value here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Loki switch off this when he finds less value, but maybe not, because you have Mikey just marking Invictus on that front line, finding the early pick. And Catholic's not going to be able to find the res. A great conk mine from Loki to shut down Yoda there as well. And now he's in there hunting. He's going to be able to find Cathec too for a second.
Yeah, just what amazing just pressure from Loki and Mikey, just marking those DPS and keeping them in check as well as Booney, right? You know, something I would love to see is more like a Pharah look come from Invictus, right? I feel like that's even more of a counter to the enemy comp. And a lot of disruption in like these brawl comps that you might need.
Yeah, and the damage is just looking to be so much. They have a good condition with this on a nade to really go in off of, but the shots need to land and the damage can't be allowed to be sent back at Booney. Yoda with a nice deflect though onto Teddy M. That's going to cut down a main part of the Kathmandu Kiwis support, but they're so decisive. They're just going to back off this angle. They don't want to bite off more than they can chew, especially when they have a chance to recontest this.
Yeah, and it seems like they are posturing for it, and like they're just going to go in, but hopefully the fishermen respond with their own ults. And Tori did get his Nano Ajax too.
Oh, and the DPS ult to follow up here too. From the Kiwis, it's just so powerful, so oppressive. And they just shut down everything that the Farmington fishermen were trying to do.
Yeah. At least, like, even though we get that Nano canceled, you know, just Yoda being able to, like, Valk and probably even go past this window is going to probably, hopefully, find this victory path forward.
Yeah, but Yoda needs to get a big blade here. Otherwise, it's very desperate traits. Goes in with it, trying to find something, but it's completely stifled. A shatter comes in from Booney, though, taking the opportunity, taking the space made by Yoda to clean up the point. And Cathec has the clock out. It's going to be able to clean up one, almost two on the point.
Booney with a huge 4K there. And there we go, Invictus to that Pharah pick, like we kind of talked about. And even the spam, like look at this. They aren't playing for that like rush style. They're just basically like a spam now.
Yeah, and I kind of like that adaptation when you have somebody like, oh, as we do hit a pause.
Pauses.
Yeah, but as I was saying, when you have somebody with the Junkrat like Loki just like spamming down that angle, it's just so oppressive. So playing a character like Pharah and playing like Genji, just denying the feasibility, even having that spam to just press back onto him is really, really oppressive.
I love what Vinny puts in the chat, and yeah, it's going to be oppressive. You know, especially if it's like a dual-edged sword, right? If like the Kiwis go too fast, are they going to be able to kill and run anything down? And I just love the BM in chat. Or not BM.
No, we'd never BM. Aurora Esports, the positive community where everybody agrees with each other, has fun, and respects each other.
So it's like if, you know, if you sit there doing nothing, you're going to be like spammed out, right? Depending on your angles, right? And then vice versa. It's like if you're going to go in too hard, you might just get caught out and just get stuck in the middle of nowhere. And Invictus opts to switch, it seems like, here. Seems like he's gonna go to this Ashe character now.
Oh, Invictus on Ashe is a very dangerous pick. I think that's definitely going to give Mikey a lot of trouble on those long-range angles. But as of right now, the Kathmandu Kiwis just hold so much of an ult advantage. It makes it very tough for the side of the Farmington Fishermen to answer back, but a great deflect! Yoda finds two! And that's the hero potential I'm talking when you have somebody like Yoda. When he's feeling himself, he will go in, he will call his mark, and he will find it through a window. Now Booney cresting the aggression.
Yeah, what an amazing defense from Yoda to just clutch that fight. You know, that was desperately needed because look at the ult still. Like, even though that hero play happened, like, they're still at an ult disadvantage. And now the fishermen are stuck inside, and Viventus gets conked up and ultimately dead-eyed.
Yeah, that was a nice amp Deadeye from Charbitron and Mikey. Really forces a 2-2 split from the rest of the Farmington Fishermen, and the Kiwis are going to look to capitalize on it. They're looking for staggers here, trying to find Yoda, and they are going to manage to take him out. We got to be really careful here, as a lot of damage does come through onto Mikey. The clean reset. This time, Farmington Fishermen have built up ultimates, and they are definitely not going to be afraid to use them.
Oh, 100%. You know, Viventus having this Bob ult, it's going to be really important that Loki can just respond with this tire of themselves, right? And
Yeah,
I was just seeing in this mega too.
Yeah.
He leaves.
I mean, he got called out. It's a tough position to hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Farmington Fishermen closing every single ultimate in the books for them. And Kath looking for these aggressive flanks too, putting a lot of separation on the rest of the team. It's just a staging moment.
Fight is coming out right side here too.
Yeah. And Mikey's gonna be the first one to capitalize on it. Exchanging with the pick onto Yoda. Loki's now setting up for this tire, but may not even want to click it in this position. They are up 1 in this fight. Does find Kathak on an off angle though, and that might be enough. But the Bob in the back line puts a real crunch on the rest of the team. Loki has this tire on an awkward angle. I don't think the rest of the fishermen are going to be able to expect that, as Yoda drops dangerously low. With such little time on the clock here, the Kathmandu Kiwis have done a great job of holding on to these ultimates while also denying the point.
Yeah, these fights are just so like rough. It feels like every time the fishermen get stabilized, they don't really know what to do and like what to open with. And to be honest, like it is very hard to answer. Whatever you open with, you know, Loki, like we saw, has that answer. And even now, it's just like they have this window that they're probably going to play on this corner. Yep. And then just classic fire strikes come through. Yoda isn't able to find any picks, and now it's going to become a shatter war here.
Yes, whoever hits the shatter. But one shatter's big, and PJ blocks the second. That's going to be massive for the Kathmandu Kiwis. Also traded out and nothing left. It's just a battle on the point. It's just who can survive, and it's going to be the Kathmandu Kiwis who are going to be taking this second map.
Yeah, no, that was a dishonorable pause if I've ever seen one. PJ hits the water view, comes back as a new player.
Yup.
Very dishonorable, you know.
Yeah,
he can't even take the honorable like composition, you know. And as you see, at the end of the day, Booty does find to play the game. So who really won the man?
Yeah,
on man?
that's true. Who hit more shatters? Honestly, probably PJ, right?
Probably, but it was more dishonorable, you know, because of the
Yeah.
passion.
I think you get like -1 point for every like spam character you play on the man-on-man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just
You know,
audit that in.
even Bastion, like Bastion's like -10 aura, you know, like in that
More
mirror.
like 100, yeah.
More like 100, yeah.
Yeah, but at this point, I'm expecting. We gotta make sure he hasn't picked it yet. Yeah, I'm expecting Yoda to move over onto the tank here, and for them to head over to either Suravasa or maybe a Coliseo. I think that's the best answer. Actually, yeah, Suravasa or Coliseo, I'd assume. Maybe Esper as well, but it's just whatever they're feeling. I like the flexibility that they have in this moment, but I don't know if they found an answer yet, so they desperately need one to come, and soon, especially with the match point for the Kiwis.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. That's just kind of, you need to find an answer right now. And even though like those 3 maps like you spoke about are realistically their like best options, I feel like it's just like it's been so iffy these 2 last maps, right? So just kind of finding an idea like that you want to stick with and just like go for it. whether it be stick to your guns and play this brawl or just like going to like more of like a spam heavy map, where you can play like those ashes, those widows, stuff like that.
Yeah, and they are gonna opt for Saravasa here. I like that pick. They do have a lot more comfort overall on that map, and I think it's just generally good in to the Kiwis, but at the same time, the Kiwis have just adapted to everything that's been thrown at them. So I don't really know. I mean, Ninja Jew comes in on this map, but I don't know if that's gonna like change anything, and barring any major swaps for the Fishermen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are seeing that switch from Yoda to the tank. I'm just, and like we said, I don't think that changes too much, right?
It gives them Junker Queen as a possibility, and Yoda's somebody who will play any tank, but his Junker Queen is top notch in my opinion. So that's
Yeah.
what I would want to do if I'm the Fisherman. Sure, Yoda can go the Rhine, but Booney already tried the Rhine. It didn't work. Booney's a great Rhine. I don't know if you want to keep beating a dead horse in a sense.
Yeah. Even then, like, I'd be super afraid of going that queen version when the likes of the Kiwis just pulling at that the what's it called comp, the mod comp, So that's like very like scary as a queen player, I'm sure.
The
And that's what I'm
Kiwis are
expecting.
gonna put in Ninja Drew on the DPS, swap him with Teddy M, and then flip Teddy M over to DPS. Traditionally, the role that HV would take on this third map, but Teddy M is the Ringer this time.
Mm-hmm. So wait, like you said, Ninja's on DPS?
Oh, sorry,
No?
sorry.
Yeah.
Teddy M's on DPS and Ninja Drew's on support.
Yeah, no. So just like that classic switch up, and I'm just wondering how that's gonna like change up their style, if anything. I think at the end of the day, it's still gonna be that Mog versus his queen.
Yeah, and the the Mao can just be so oppressive. Yoda just really needs to coordinate with his team and be able to engage on the back line of the Kiwis. If he can't, and they don't really have anything else they can kill.
Mm-hmm. Even then, like I actually loved like the Sigma from that enemy team, right? Or from the Fishermen. They just need to like play like a lot more distance and be able to like spam their walk up and look for more kills. But the Kiwis did like a great job at like closing that distance, playing like kind of pillar to pillar. So on this map, I think like the Sig variant can be favored a little bit, especially on this first neutral.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And if it comes into a battle of like who has a deeper tank pool, I think Yoda and PJ can really go bow for bow there. They
Mm-hmm.
can switch to anything. They can flex around. I wanna see Yoda just come out strong here and start diffing the front line, start diffing the back line, start diffing all the space he can. But we are gonna see that sort of expected queen composition with Scent on the Genji and Invictus on the Tracer. The tough part about this is gonna be attempting to get through the Loki Reaper, who has already provided a bit of trouble for the team.
Yeah, it's like who are you gonna run down, and that only person available is Teddy M, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they need to find him, go kill him. But if they posture properly, they're never gonna be able to get to him. But that's what I like about like this hyper diving away, because maybe they can, and let's see that.
Yeah, fight breaks out. Both teams going to be even. Actually, not even getting to the point. The Fishermen take a bit of an early lead. For Kathmandu Kiwis, always good to stabilize, always good to just commit as a team. And Yoda's getting beaten down, bone up on the point. Eventually gets the healing coming in, but already taking so much damage. The axe is going to connect. That's going to be a flick over onto Loki. Quick stabilization for the Farmington Fishermen. They are down one, and Teddy M, the Ringer, comes in with a big hit onto Invictus. So now an even fight on the point. Yoda looking for some serious damage in the front line. Ninja Drew doing a great job of keeping the team up, keeping the stabilization point. But Yoda can't give up this high ground position. Needs to keep committed to this fight in this position, but just getting blown up. Exploded on the point. The Kathmandu Kiwis, now with no tank to face off against, should be able to wrap up this fight.
Yeah, I know, that was just very unfortunate. You know, the fishermen had no other they had DPS, but it was like so inconsistent that when they rushed at EM after Invictus got that pick, it was just, since no one got like more damage on Teddy, they're just able to heal up more effectively. And going to this next fight, they're just going to have this high noon to play for too, and hopefully Corey can make a difference with this rush, and I believe they can.
Definitely going to need to come out here, and it will. The high noon in response, though, it's going to be great to zone the point, and he's not pulling this until the last possible second, giving them so much time on the point, forcing Invictus to be the one to come in and get the touch, but Invictus is going to be good for it. Finds one, has the pulse if need be. Meanwhile, Ninja Drew responding with a Kitsune of their own. The pulse goes wide, but the Rampage is going to go on target for at least a few players on the point. So it's just clean up for the Farmington Fishermen as they do manage to stabilize. Down Kethect, but is still in a good spot.
Yeah, the Kiwis just like overexerted themselves into that fight. You know, they just kind of like stuff choke and played it into that rush like way too much. And all they had to do is play a lot slower for that high noon. In reality, like they pressed it so quickly. Just stay back and like really just play it for your turn, right?
They do have a recontest here with the Annihilation and the beat. Centurion's gonna need to come up massive with the blade here, but it doesn't even matter. Yoda explodes before anything can even happen. Sen trying to save it with the blade, but the beat comes out from Charbitron, and that's gonna be more than enough to keep the rest of the Kathmandu Kiwis alive on this point. It's just hero touches for the Farmington Fishermen, but likely not gonna be enough as Yoda not able to come back on the Doomfist.
Yeah, and at least, you know, going to the next fight, if you're the Fisherman, you're really excited to be looking forward to like this Pulse Bomb, this Kitsune that's coming up online. And if you're the Kiwis, you're just really looking for this aggressive Blossom, and to try to like take the tempo into your hands.
And Kiwis have the ability to posture for it. Yoda swaps back over onto the JQ, so it's going to be a bit later onto this fight. You can see Loki setting up for the Blossom here, doesn't want to click it too early, has the ability to zone out point with it. Meanwhile, Invictus going for the Pulse, but it's going to be Loki who strikes first, but gets traded out by Corey, and then Corey falls as well. Invictus pulled the Pulse, but didn't find anything just yet, so now looking to back up around the point. Numbers advantage going to the Kiwis, and so will the point.
Yeah, no, I mean, just like, if they keep doing this, like blowing up Yoda, it's just going to be very hard for the side of the Fishermen to do any work. And that being said, it's going to be a battle of this Kitsunes with 10EM having their ult as well, PJ almost closing theirs. This is just like really rough for the Fishermen. Early Kitsune comes out, clearing the high ground, and just amazing kite from the Kiwis.
Yeah, the Kiwis know exactly how to play this. They're going to wait for the Kitsune to go down, and then they can respond with the Kitsune of their own from Ninja Drew, pushing the aggression, pushing out Sen from that oppressive angle, and now the rest of the Fishermen stuck up on that high ground. But the Kiwis aren't even worried. They still have point control. They're still able to find Centurion, and now Kathect trying to go into the back line to get a big hero play, not able to find it. The high noon comes out. It's going to be able to click one, but Yoda trying to turn this. Yoda with 3 on the point. Invictus cleans up 1 as well. And the Fishermen, they get the point. But again, is it going to be enough for them to hold on?
You know, at least looking at these ultimates, like, it should very well be able to hold on. You know, Sent and Invictus are able to close their ults this fight. Kathect has a beat of their own. But that being said, it's going to be very worrisome about, like, the neutral, like we saw. It just seems like the Kiwis are playing a better neutral, just running down Yoda like this and forcing out beat early.
Oh, but the beat is good here from Kathect. Keeps the whole team alive. Invictus now back in the fight with this potential high noon 2 pull. The respect given from the Kathmandu Kiwis. We're waiting on this Charbitron ult to pull here. And it's actually going to be Senton who goes first with the Death Blossom to find 2. The cleanup is there. The High Noon gets popped as well. And the Farmington Fishermen are looking good to take this second point.
Yeah, no, 100%. As you see the Fishermen go up to the enemy spawn to poke and just say, we're here, you are not touching, you know?
Yeah, and with no quick characters, no chance. Invictus is going to find one on the way out, so definitely happy about that. And now it's just a question about where does this next point go? It does flip favorably for both teams here, but Kathmandu Kiwis are going to be able to get there first. I don't know if that's going to matter. We have Teddy M on such a far respawn. Corey's more than willing to lead the team in with the aggression. Charbatron responds with beat of her own, but Loki TP's in. A nice little boop away though, denying the value, and Centurion's there to burn down Loki on the point. So now Invictus stabilized with the rest of the team on the back line. Teddy M's finally back in the fight, and Yoda's still getting trades up here. Purple Jesus can't manage to find anything on this point. So now he and the rest of the team are gonna fall, and Farmington Fishermen are going to take control.
Yeah, I think the Fishermen just like pulled their trigger like way too early, you know. I feel like just that idea of the fight was like very like correct, but just like the trigger and finding those ultimate value at the end of the day was a key fact why they lost there. That being said, you know, they just have this Kitsune advantage going forward, but Yoda having this free rampage to play for is just going to be so important.
Yeah, and Yoda definitely posturing for it. Has a really good angle to take it, but instead they're going to kite back, and Teddy M finds 3! If there's anything that makes you say Gur Ringers, it's that.
Oh yeah, you know, 3K, you're just thinking that constantly. Why is he here? Why is he here? You know, but that being said, just still having this free rampage is gonna be very important. Just force out the Suzu and go ham.
Yeah, and for the Fishermen, I think it's fine if you lose this one. You have 2 more real goes at this. Well, on the side of the Kathmandu Kiwis, if you lose this point, it could be Jover depending on how many staggers they're able to get. And now, multiple ults pulled in here. It was a really good rush or rampage, but it's not going to be better than Yoda with his ultimate on the point. But the Kathmandu Kiwis are good to get out of this, so they will have a chance for the recontest if the Farmington Fishermen don't opt to hold close here. And I think they realize where Loki is. They're going to find him, and now it gets to a bit more impossibility for a touch from the Kathmandu Kiwis.
Yeah, and even if they touch, it's not going to be full, and it just seems like they're giving going next. And I think that's probably the correct call. They're just going to go new, play for their ultimates, and ideally the Fishermen just look for like an early Kitsune and like take the lead and take that advantage and take it to them.
Flashpoint Temple.
Yeah, and they do have the ultimates to play with. If they've been keeping up with the ults correctly here, they are going to realize that Kathmandu Kiwis don't have anything, and they won't have anything for a while here, so it doesn't matter if they take this fight slow, fast. They will have the ult advantage as long as they opt to click Q here.
If they do play slow, they do give Char ult and Drew soon.
I didn't realize that Char was that OP, but as Charb did, I guess.
And Drew here soon too. You know, now playing slow is, as you see, like not gonna work. And Charb gets fouled.
That's the exact pick they wanted to. Denies the ultimate value. And now the Farmington Fishermen want to look to explode down into this fight onto the point. The amp in. The explosion. Trying to find a lot of value here. But they're not going to be able to get it just yet. A good reset from Kathmandu Kiwis. Something I've been complimenting them for all day.
You know, just basically like a 5 ult on 1 fight here coming up. And Centurion has to be that difference maker with this Blossom. Right now, instead of kiting, I would have loved to engage with that Blossom and just Blossom right on top of that Kitsune. And Cent going to point and looking for it. Solo Blossom Charm, and he ends up finding her.
And he's going to be able to get the cleanup 2 onto Ninja Drew. That's going to be massive. Cent finds 3. He wants to chase down Loki too, but I don't think he's going to be able to get that one. Loki's more than happy to meet his own demise. And
put it in the play of the game. This is
going to be it.
Yeah.
For the Farmington Fishermen, there's nothing the Kiwis have to really come back with here. A beat from Tribertron to try to save it, but she gets cleaned up on the point, and now it's all on PJ to stall up this Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, and even when Loki comes back with this Blossom, it's going to be to no avail.
Yeah, quick cleanup for the Farmington Fishermen, and they are going to be able to take home their map pick. Suravasa 3-2-1 against the Kathmandu Kiwis. And could we see them heat up here, Neptune? I'm not sure, but that definitely looked a lot better than the first two maps.
Oh, 100%, you know. And that's why I'm kind of curious on how this series will go forward here and how this Queen variant will still work. And surely the Kiwis just go to their bread and butter dive maps here now. Surely, right? Surely?
Surely, yes, but I'm wondering if the Kiwis, how much research they've done, because I know that Mikey and PJ, they're big researchers, right? And if they did their research, they're gonna realize that the Farmington Fishermen, they looked very, very good on Watchpoint Gibraltar. They looked like incredible on Watchpoint Gibraltar. So honestly, I wouldn't opt to send the Fishermen there. I would much rather see a Dorado out from the Kiwis. Is that crazy? Is that insane?
I don't think so, but at the same time, I think the Dorado enables Invictus to play that Ashe. And to be honest, the Kiwis did go Dorado against us back in like week whatever, right? So that could be a very, very possible choice that they go.
And they lost it against us, but they have won it previous or post that matchup too. So I think they definitely feel confident there. I wouldn't want to send it like Havana or like any way you can enable the Invictus Sniper. Looking at all the possible maps here.
Not even just the Invictus Sniper, but just like no reason to opt into that that like brawl mirror when you're such an amazing dive team, you know? And root. I actually like the root just because it gives you options. Even you can play that dive, but you can also play that brawl at points.
But it also gives the Fishermen a lot of options too.
That's it, yes.
Yoda is definitely not one to shy away from the Diva or the Doomfist or the Winston.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like I personally, if I was Q's, I would go to like a heavier dive map for sure. That being said, like I think Root's still like a great choice.
Yeah, I like Root here. But I think that they're gonna definitely find some trouble on at least the start of the map and the end of the map areas, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think
at least
those two, I think it's good.
Yeah. The third one is like the really scary one in my opinion. Less so the other two.
Yep. Because there's so much flexibility on that third point, so much that they can do.
And let us see
the comps. I think this favors the Kiwis here. If it's such a hard dive that Centurion, Invictus, like they can get the stabilization that they need, but it's gonna be tough against the Tracer and the Sombra and the Winston all diving at once. Even Loki plays Ana sort of like a DPS. He's more than willing to forgo healing the team just to get his 3k, 4k, whatever it be. So
yeah,
we're gonna see how the Farmington Fishermen respond to this composition with their Sig strats.
Yeah, I mean, all they need to do is make sure like Sen is controlling these angles so they're not getting free dives. But that being said, I do agree that this Sig comp is probably going to be or either one of these comps can win out. And as you've seen, Ninja looking to set up for Sen in the backline here, or just anyone in the backline right now.
Yeah, and I think that Sen may realize that the jig is up, but it may not even matter as the hack comes in, but the kills go in the favor of the Farmington Fishermen. They just explode the 2 dive DPSs, and now Invictus is allowed to cook on this high ground. put him in a very, very dominant position.
Yeah.
And he has control of it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be very just need to find these dives onto these off angles, right? And Yoda gets almost caught out.
Yeah, Yoda has to be very, very careful. He's the centerpiece of the entire team, but he's also one of the only people that can contest this cart. Doing a great job of it thus far, though. Dropping PJ extraordinarily low. Catholic manages to trade out Ninja Drew on the back line. And Mikey, even though he's pushing cart, hasn't found all that much kills or success on the top of the point. As you can see, Invictus does make the swap over onto the Cassidy, so that's going to be a bit more protection from these dive DPS in these long-term fights. But the point is getting dangerously close, but it's to a position where Yoda has this high ground contest on it, which is a lot more favorable for the Farmington Fishermen.
Yeah, and just this primal goes in, just causing a lot of disruption. And Yoda finds Loki on the back line, and it seems like PJ is not going to be able to find anyone with this primal.
And the Flux is going to come out as well. That's just going to catch Teddy M. That's going to be the pick that they need on the point. As Yoda cleans up 2, keeps the hopes of the Fishermen alive. They're going to stay back on the cart, make sure Ninja Drew can't pull off any shenanigans on the Sombra, but I don't think I think it's mutual respect on both sides.
At least Ninja Drew is able to set up for this backline now, and as you see, the Corey just like sitting far behind here is just going to be really important, and just like capturing their nano dive here.
Yeah, but Ninja Drew is gonna look for an engagement on it. Just sitting idle at the moment, waiting for PJ to get jumped, for Mikey to get the blinks, for the ability to go in. And here it comes. A split dive comes out. Invictus is gonna fall, and the nano's already in onto Purple Jesus, putting in tons of pressure on the rest of the team. And Ninja Drew's there for the cleanup. Yep.
Yeah, no, what a excellent dive from the Kiwis, and now they're able to just go in with this next EMP here, right?
Yep, and that's gonna be able to find a lot, but it's a bit different composition for the Fishermen. They realized that first map, the Malga into the Winston did work fairly well. Obviously, Yoda has to be cognizant of these hacks. It has to make sure he's constantly marking out the opposite DPSs, but with this sort of just shooting composition, they have a lot to play for here.
Yeah, and even then, like we're gonna see, like Drew's gonna set up for the EMP, and they're gonna go.
Oh, but Loki drops dangerously low. Invictus is hunting for it. But on the backside, Ninja Drew is gonna be taken out. Sen pops the visor as well, and he's gonna get slept out. A great sleep from downtown, but I don't think it's gonna matter. It's Cathec's there for the protection, and Yoda and Invictus are both there for the cleanup.
Yeah, I mean, at first I wasn't really liking the switch from the Sig to the Mog, just for the fact that like no one around them is switching, right? I think that's really scary, because I just feel like you get purpled and kind of like just rush down at the end of the fight. But with a dive like that, you know, you don't have to really worry about it, because you're not going to take that much chip damage here.
Yep, they just have to be really cognizant of these nades. The EMP is going to come out, but only finds Centurion, and Invictus with a good cleanup with that Deadeye, stabilizing on top of the building, and really doing a great job of burning down Purple Jesus. But Purple Jesus finds 2 on the point. Teddy M needs to invest the rally to get that stabilization there for the rest of the team. Holding the front line for the team, or the back line for the team, as Invictus drops dangerously low. Mikey's hunting, and with the help of Purple Jesus, they do find it. Clean up onto the Farmington Fishermen from the Kiwis, and a stick does come in too. It's not going to be able to find the kill, but it is going to prevent a lot of the Farmington Fishermen's aggression.
And this Nano Peter is going to come through on the recontest, and this should probably just win out for their team.
Oh, but Pokey gets exploded, so it's actually going to be a trade on either side. Cathec's putting in work on the point here. Cleans up 2. And now it's an advantage for the Farmington Fishermen. Yoda doing a great job of controlling this high ground, hunting for Mikey, hunting for this last kill, but don't know if he's going to be able to find it here, as Mikey gets the sort of the dashes back to escape.
Yeah, the supports from the side of the Kiwis just for a bit too close to point. You know, just to make sure you get that high ground and really make sure that the side of like the fisherman can like have to run you down.
Oh,
And
did you get slapped? Oh,
amazing
Corey, the reaction time is crazy.
Was Corey just trying to sleep the doorway?
No, he got the detection like last second. And just
Incredible.
instantly turns, flicks, gets that. And Ninja now on the Torb. But I don't know if it's gonna matter because Yoda invests the ultimate inside a very, very tight room. He is able to be kept alive with his LOS and doing a ton of zoning. Manages to escape with his life. No slam on the way out, but gets slept. So the punishment could be there. Invictus needs to posture for this Deadeye. Mikey on the point has to recall out. So they need another touch if you're the Kiwis. Now Invictus trying to stage on this high ground. Yoda's dangerously low. The high noon comes in, but it's going to get shielded off. Needs to get blocked out. Is he going to find something? No, Teddy M gets the shutdown at the last second. Mikey's here for the hero plays, for the heroics, for the stabilization on the point. And the Kathmandu Kiwis clean that one up, and they are going to manage to get to third.
Yeah, I mean, what an amazing swap from PJ again. Just like knowing when they want to swap and just like commit to it, and going to this more spammy look. And I think that's all you need to do. And as you see, just like this Flux is already online with that Nana, with that drink almost up, and Fisherman gotta find an idea of how to like close the gap and just play for the Sense Blossom here.
Yep, Sent does kind of need to come up massive here as Yoda gets the clear on the moving turret. But good neutral from both teams. You'd like to think that Kathmandu Kiwis have the ult advantage for now, but still a very tall task ahead of them because they can't use everything at once. They still need to win out a total of 2 fights here. With the Farmington Fisherman, you kind of need to contest fairly soon. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a one-fight situation, and that's exactly what happens here as Teddy M manages to find Invictus. The stick comes in, too, from Mikey, so an early advantage, and they hold on to both support ults in this final fight as well. So now Fishermen have to look for this recontest. Invictus over onto the Tracer to try and get the touch. Centurion, maybe the most obvious Blossom, but is it going to be enough? No, it's not. Gets stifled, gets tranked, and the Nano is out onto the ulting Sigma. It's going to do a ton of damage, explodes the team on point.
Ninja's just hammering.
All they can do is fight for 0 seconds. They're not going to be able to get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard when you gotta play for your ults there and like, because you have nothing to like speed on. Like, you don't have Lucio, and there's nothing to really do.
Initiating match.
But this is still quite a winnable situation for the Farmington Fishermen. They definitely had a lot that was working for them there.
Yeah.
This point could be decided just on what either team roll out on.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they try the dive defense still, or if they're just gonna adapt and go that single comp. And it seems like they will be. Ninja goes on that Torb and Mikey on that cast.
Oh, but they got the Scent Farah. Other team should be quaking in their boots. Scent finally allowed to cook.
Oh, he
on what could be the last map for the Farmington Fishermen. They're trying to get the reverse sweep. They're trying to fight for that map 5. Down 1-2 against the Kathmandu Kiwis. But the Kathmandu Kiwis did a great job of reading into this. They have exactly what they need. They have the Sigma. They have the Mikey on the cast to provide that long range damage.
And that Discord's gonna be really just put on Sen, and he can't peek for at least a couple seconds, right?
It's definitely a tall task ahead for the Farmington Fishermen, but definitely one that's not doable. You have Cath effect over onto the Lucio as well, and Invictus does a great job early just dealing with the Ninja Druid turret. Lots of spam coming in from Scent as well, but has to respect Discord from Teddy M. A lot of the damage that they can put out, the Kathmandu Kiwis can be so explosive with their Discord, with their anti-nade from the support line. It looks like Yoda.
Huge purple.
Oh, they're staging for a dive, and it's going to be a good one. Yoda's got this high ground position. but facing down a ton of damage, even facing down this turret. Wants to be able to blow it up, tries to peek from multiple angles, but isn't going to be able to find it. Some great healing comes in, and another big purple comes out from Corey as well. So supports are going to be traded out. Sent looking for that extra damage, looking to dive up on that high ground. Doesn't find anything just yet. Invictus is there for the cleanup, though. Corey attempts for the sweep. Doesn't find it just yet, though. As Loki gets the stabilization on the point, kills out Centurion. Looking for the second one. And Purple Jesus back for the recontest, helping to stabilize Loki on this point. But Yoda's back on the Diva. The Nano comes in from Corey as well. And Yoda's putting in a ton of work on the back line. Explodes 3. And now it's just PJ. Almost dead to rights here. Has a power punch. May not be even able to get to use it. As Farmington Fisherman, the extraordinarily quick cap.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, just kind of we talked about, like, Kiwis adapting their play a little bit too much. And as you see, just PJ taking that Winston duel, man on man, right?
They actually both swapped over at the same time. I don't think they even realized.
What an amazing pick from Teddy M onto Corey.
They'll definitely halt the progress of the Farmington Fishermen for a while. Allow the rest of the Kathmandu Kiwis to get set up. And it's a great nade from the side of Loki. He's been good for these often.
And all they gotta do is just keep bullying these chokes, and Loki's probably just gonna nano PJ this fight and just bully this chokes.
Yep, and another nade
comes in. Corey, don't even need it.
Support line. And it's gonna be a nano out, but because Purple Jesus was so low with the purple, he isn't gonna be able to find value from it. So again, a nice purple comes in from Corey. And now Farmington Fisherman looking for some big value here. B comes in early from Kathakt. Trying to find something big here. Mikey gets put into a nice spot to find Yoda with that Deadeye Sleep combination. And the Farmington Fisherman on the back foot yet again.
And just keep getting these purple on the back line. Just PJ just flips the trigger and goes for it. And Yoda just realizes that's the problem. Switches over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about, I mean, they swapped at the same time. Yoda was planning on playing this into the Sigma, but ends up just mirroring the monkey. And against this, I think to eat the anti-nades, to really deny the value that the backline is getting so much better on that Diva. And you see that exactly come to fruition here as they take down the support line for the Kathmandu Kiwis. Purple Jesus trying to escape with his life is going to get the primal off in time. But I think he wants out, and he is going to get the escape there.
Yeah, no, it's just so unfortunate. I would rather just take that that loss after you lose Teddy M with that Trank and just get out for this recontest. And at least right now, like, Teddy M has that ultimate, but I don't think it will be a great touch from the Kiwis, and they're going for it.
Yeah, and the blade comes in. No nano with it. Nano's gonna come out now. The Centurion looks to find something in the back line, but he's getting stifled. He's getting shut down, and the deflect doesn't work against Winston, so he's gonna be completely called out there. The combination doesn't work out for the Farmington Fishermen, and now they are not really entering dire straits. They still have 2 minutes on the clock, but don't have the ultimates to win this next fight.
Yeah, no, surely not. Just Nano Visor or just Nano PJ is going to be very oppressive here, and all they're playing for is just bullying these chokes. PJ and Yoda are just getting into a staring contest.
Yeah, that's what you do if you got DM. But this time, PJ's got the nano. He's on the back line. Very nice sleep from Corey, but gets woken up. Might be enough, though, as PJ is already dangerously low. When Yoda gets D-Max, you lose a lot of that value. Ninja Drew gets Invictus, but takes one for the team with him, which does not matter, as Kathmandu Kiwis managed to clean up that fight.
Yeah, and it's going to go back to like the same things as we talked about last fight, just blowing these rotates, getting this Primal and Visor online, and just forcing like Kathak to beat early, or Yoda to even get D-Max, right? And they're still opting for this top right.
Yeah, and they can take a lot of pressure on this top right position. The beat comes in though for the Farmington Fishermen. They're looking to go hunting, trying to catch really anybody on the side of the Kathmandu Kiwis, or at least get themselves to point. A nice stick from side of Invictus, but it's not going to be able to find anything. Centurion does manage to clean one up. With the DMAC coming in and potential staggers coming through, the Farmington Fishermen are in incredibly dire straits.
Yeah. And going to this next fight, you know, they don't have that beat to really help them out, and Loki's almost getting this nano online again to, like, ideally kill Corey, and they're just going to bully this touch, and Kathmandu has to be the first one to touch.
Yep. The touch does come in, but the Transcendence to greet it. Great nade from Loki to support the team. And Nano is going to come in. But Yoda finds the bomb. That's going to shut down 3. That might be exactly what they need. As the Nano dissipates, Yoda gets the 4th as well. And some nice cleanup here. They need to find a shutdown onto Mikey, and they need to find it quick because he is building that pulse bomb. Doesn't manage to find it. Yoda with 5 to save the fight, to save potentially the game.
Yeah, and it seems like the Kiwis are trying for this recontest.
They want to get it. A nice boot from Kathek though. He may trade his life for it, but I think they're more than happy with what just occurred on that fight.
Oh, and PJ's upset. He had to go kill 2 people just because they lose that cap.
Hey, at least he didn't click pause this time.
And reflect on the invite review.
Yep. Hey, he gets another one too. Oh, he's just gonna stagger out one. Oh,
yeah.
This makes PJ very happy.
Yeah. And that being said, you know, holy, PJ is just relentless on this Doomfist.
Yeah, and he's looking for it. It's a good ult advantage for the Kathmandu Kiwis here, and they're not afraid to hold this point up close. It's really forcing out 2 fights, forcing Yoda to swap over onto this Junker Queen. And he's actually going to manage to hunt down Ninja Drew. No block to save him, so it's an opportunity. It's at least an opening, a chance for Centurion to go in, and he's going to manage to find Loki. Looking for Teddy M2, catches them as well. So this fight has turned winnable, but no ults to give here. They're going to manage to kill out the turret. They have 3 onto the point. It's going to be a question of the touches. It's going to be a question of the hero plays for the Kathmandu Kiwis. Will Purple Jesus be able to get back in time? Will the pulse hit? Who will they nano if you're Loki?
Probably PJ.
Will the Farmington Fisherman be able to hold on here? As the nano does manage to come in. Mikey's looking for something here. But the Farmington Fishermen are managing to close out this fight. The swaps are just too good. A nice axe comes in from Yoda. A meteor strike from PJ. Just trying to save it. But the knife is just at the exact right time. Shuts down PJ on this point. And so much damage coming through. Mikey's back on the venture to try and recontest this. But Corey's built up the coalescence to get that stabilization. And they burn down the support line. They burn down Mikey. They get Purple Jesus. And they manage to stay in this. They keep fighting. They're going to force this overtime.
Yeah, no, just rushing down Teddy M with that rally closing is just so important to winning that game and fight.
Initiating.
But yeah, no, like just... So who's defending first? I think defending first is the side of the Fisherman. If you're the Fisherman, I just take that Go Queen and go spawn hold, honestly.
I honestly agree. I think the brawl will definitely is favored for the Farmington Fishermen. I do like the Mauga pick here. I think that's gonna bode extraordinarily well into the Kathmandu Kiwis on this Winston. Actually, the Farmington Fishermen opting to go for the Winston.
Yeah, and the Fishermen are on the attack overall, actually. So just try to adapt to the side of the Kiwis, and like I said, I love the Kiwis just going back to their normal dive, you know. I feel like that's their bread and butter, and that's what they were gonna do until they kind of saw what the Fishermen were doing. And Yoda goes back to the Queen version and just playing to their bread and butter.
Yeah, and I like this if I'm the Farmington Fisherman. I think that Yoda on JQ is just so dangerous because who's going to contest point? If PJ tries to jump down, he just gets a knife in him. And then he can't escape. The pull comes back out. So the Kathmandu Kiwis really relying on solid just stabilization on this point. It does already get pushed up very, very close. Nice antis exchanged on both sides for Corey and Loki respectively. And Tracers are in this battle. Mikey drops dangerously low, but gets the stabilization that he needs. As Purple Jesus is trying to get this staging, but Ninja Drew gets caught out on the point. Centurion trying to get up onto this high ground, but can't find it just yet. As Yoda does manage to get up there. A nice anti too. A quick little swap. Yoda finds a nice axe to get antied out. I don't think that anti's gonna matter though, as he manages to catch a knife into Loki, and now Loki becomes a target on this low ground position. A great knife and a great axe.
Yoda's being a menace with these axes,
and he's just looking so good in the server right now. Nobody can stand to oppose him as the team falls down. This is where it gets tough. This is where the Farmington Fishermen struggled. I don't want to see them falter here. I want them to stick onto this comp, play their game, even against the oppressive dive of the Kiwis.
Yeah, and even then, like the nanos are gonna be like very impactful in this fight. They just need to make sure, you know, that the Fishermen or Kiwis don't get like this nano to point here, and that's exactly what they're gonna do, and that's what I'm really worried about.
Yeah, they need a plan to just explode Purple Jesus on the point. Corey looking for the nano. Both nanos exchanged on either side. It's tank for tank. It's blow for blow. Who's going to be able to find it? As the cleanup is coming in favor of the Kathmandu Kiwis, but Invictus is trying to turn this one around. Purple Jesus has the Primal Rage activated. And Yoda and Invictus, the last two surviving on the point. Yoda gets antied though. The pulse does come in. And now it's just Invictus, the last one to touch. Corey comes back, but gets slept out. And that's going to be all she wrote for the push of the Farmington Fishermen. The Kathmandu Kiwis definitely have something that works here. But they just need to get past this first point.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're the Fisherman, you love that for you. You know, now you're just going to be able to take the screen comp and go spawn hold if you want. I would have loved to see like more of like a carry version of this comp. I think it's going to be able to like help them so much and hold the space and just keep on brawling throughout these antis.
Yep, it's really just these oppressive antis from Loki and Corey, nonetheless, coming into effect. But I like what you're saying, they should definitely go for the spawn hold here, and I think that's what they're trying to do with Centurion going over onto the Mei.
Yeah, as well as Yoda to this Maga. And surely we do see the spawn hold and just burn as much time off the clock as possible.
Because you do get 3 fights here if you're the Farmington Fishermen. And if you're the Kathmandu Kiwis, it feels like you only have time for 2. There they go. Moving in.
Moving and grooving.
Surely nobody's noticed. Surely they won't expect this, right?
Surely not. Oh,
surely
no
not.
one would.
No, nobody would.
5, 4,
I wouldn't.
2, 1.
We've never done this in our lives.
No.
Oh, they don't know. They don't know.
They
don't know. Oh, now they know. Now they know.
That being said, despite knowing they're so close to the Fisherman brawl,
and that's one fight won for the Farmington Fishermen. So now the Kathmandu Kiwis need to rely on this snowball here. Purple Jesus making the swap over onto the Malga, and Ninja Drew onto the Sim to attempt to get a bit more sustain here. No ultimates built up just yet, and I love the Farah coming out from Mikey here. Does a lot of damage, but have to be really careful, because even though it is just one hit scan, there is Yoda on the other side as well. And Scent drops dangerously low. Does manage to survive with his life. Kathmandu Kiwis are surviving on the point. And Scent with a big pick onto Loki. That's the exact pick they need. Farmington Fishermen want to look to press this aggression, but Scent drops so low here in the fight. And Mikey's left uncontested on this high ground position. Invictus does find another one too, and Corey with the rush coming in. Sent so close to this blizzard. That could turn the fight. That could turn the pace of everything. He is going to pull it down straight onto Purple Jesus. And Mikey finds 2 at the barrage. Is that going to be enough, though? Invictus being the hero on point. The Deadeye closes. Loki falls as well. It's just Ninja Drew. And they can't do it. Neptune, we're going to map 5.
Map 5 bang out, you know, reverse sweep. And they were saying that GG's, thank you for scrim was over, you know, but we see just one more map left. And with that being said, we are going to be going to a push, and honestly, I'm expecting like maybe a Esperanza. And I think honestly, like if you're the Kiwis, you know, you're just very confident in your brawl, and you just go that, you know, especially with swaps probably coming back out from the original lineups. I'm interested to see like how both of these teams approach this last and final map.
I'll tell you exactly how they approach it right here. They got Yoda. They keep Yoda on the tank for the fisherman. They keep this exact same composition for the fisherman. You keep this exact. You keep PJ on the tank here. You move to the original composition if you are the Kiwis, right? And I think we're gonna see some. I think we're gonna see some good Queen v X, and I'm not sure what X is yet because it depends if they want to go more of a brawl style. I think it's gonna be like a Ramatra, but they can also swap over onto that Winston or that Sigma if it gets too impressive. But Esperanza is the map of choice, and honestly, if I'm the Kiwis, it could go either way here. You cannot disrespect Yoda on the JQ on Esperanza in the slightest.
Yeah. No, 100%. That's been very scary for this series, and I'm just wondering like how the game plan is going to come through for the fishermen, like against like specific comps. You know, even the Kiwis. I'm excited to see like what they're going to run.
Yeah, and I believe that the fishermen are gonna opt to keep this in. They can switch Booney over in onto the tank most likely, or the support if they need, but they've had a lot of success with this composition, Yoda on tank, so I think they just gotta stick with it. They have the opportunity to, so you might as well just do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just keep that Queen style, and try to adapt the best you can to wherever the Kiwis go out. You know, it kind of prevents them from running that the monkey comp, right? And even if since you prevent them from running that monkey, as we saw on the first map, you can still play into the Kiwis as that queen comp, you know, like in the brawl mirror, you know.
And I don't think that, like, unless Purple Jesus goes over onto the Melga, I don't think there's a reason for Yoda to swap off. Because whether it be dive or brawl, it's really tough to go against a good JQ. And Yoda is a good JQ.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as good as Pneumonia. Pneumonia shout out. But Yoda is a good JQ. I'll stand on that. I'll die on that hill.
Any Sayori bias in here? Sayori bias?
Definitely not. No way.
No, surely no Sayori players are in this VC right now.
Surely we aren't just using this map as prep work against whatever team wins.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm doing in Tabby now. I'm just writing down all my notes.
Yep. We've actually memorized every single composition that every team has run here, and we are gonna be able to expect every single thing that they do. So.
Oh yeah. And
good luck, have fun. If you want to, whoever wins. We're evil.
We are. I mean, you're the most evil person in the league, you know.
That's true.
I remember, dude, we beat Aligatas and you took him out back and broke both of his arms. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's true. But it's because I'm feeling it, you know, feeling good. But we are gonna see the Kathmandu Kiwis start out on the Melga here. I love that into Yoda on the JQ. I think that works out very, very well, and it might even force out one, if not multiple swaps here. If I am sent, I could see the May come into fruition here, and if I'm Yoda, I can see the Melga come into fruition here. But overall, other than that, just an equalized comp.
I actually really like the Reaper point choice in this brawl. Like, I didn't really like it on King's Row because of like all the compositions, but like here, like you can just really keep this Mog in check if he so chooses it. And Loki does find an amazing pick onto Invictus, and the Kiwis just flip the switch and just go hard.
And Loki is looking so good right now. All the aim trading on Ana, that's all led up to this moment, and it definitely paid off in dividends. As Yoda and Corey gonna meet their maker on the point. The Kathmandu Kiwis take an early lead in this fight, and now we see are any swaps gonna come out? Yoda is going over onto the Valga here.
Yeah, and I do like this, right? But I'm very afraid of like kind of like the mid-range spam battle that we're gonna see from Loki. If Loki keeps on like keeping up this pressure and finding these picks, I think this is Kiwis' series to take away.
For sure, Invictus definitely needs to find his mark here. Did move over onto the Tracer, so is going to have a bit more pressure out towards the back line. He's looking for it early here, is helping Yoda get into this fight, helping Centurion get a ton of damage down here. The Kathmandu Kiwis have already pushed the bot so far, and the Farmington Fishermen contesting from such an awkward angle. Corey's going to try to keep this fight winnable on the side of the Farmington Fishermen with that Kitsune rush, but Mikey's now posturing for this pulse bomb, and Catholic gets traded out. Teddy M falls as well on the point, but numbers are going in favor of the Kathmandu Kiwis. But Corey manages to shut down the Deadeye. Loki now falls, and the Kathmandu Kiwis, they're looking like they're falling apart on this point.
And hopefully Yoda tried to catch PJ, but nonetheless realizes his limits. And now we're just going to see the Kiwis have to retake into this angle. And they do have the ultimates for it. And ultimately the Kiwis, or the Fishermen, and probably have to kite this here too.
I think it all depends, because if Yoda can get this cage fight up, even equalize comp, I think it all depends on that. But no, multiple ults pressed for the Kathmandu Kiwis. They're going to take this fight. They're going to take it straight to the heart of the Farmington Fishermen. Yoda can't survive in this ultimate. But I think if you're the Farmington Fisherman, you're okay giving that up for 2 ultimates there. When you didn't use any of your own, you're going to look to have a really good recontest on the return.
Yeah, I mean, but mentally, just like having to re-push that and gain the lead. Because right now, they are going to probably get checkpoint with this this push now. And whatever they kind of go for, they should open this cage and probably blossom here too.
Yeah, and they might look to close the gap here, and now it's going to be multiple ults exchange, but it's going to be the combo from Scent and Yoda that comes out, deals so much damage, and cleans up the whole fight. So
what a great combo.
DPS and support alt, or DPS and tank alt used for the Farmington Fishermen, but they do manage to take home that fight, and they are going to get a bit of progress for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, and you also have like this Corey online, those ult online to play for, and that's going to be very important into this fight.
Yep, the aggression is going to be forced for the side of the Farmington Fishermen here. Multiple beats exchanged as well. That's all 5 ults here. If you're the Farmington Fishermen, you need to clean up this fight, and that's exactly what they're doing. Helpless Centurion on the point. Mikey looks for the pulse bomb. Is gonna find it. Yoda backs up the wrong way. It shuts down 3. Mikey comes up with a big hero play to clean up the point.
Yeah, what an amazing pulse from Mikey.
And Kathmandu Kiwis, they're looking good for these next 2 fights. They have the cage fight spin combination that they can throw out, or they can just press the advantage with Teddy M and the Kitsune rush. The checkpoint is going to be unlocked for Kathmandu Kiwis, so they do have a lot to play for here.
Yeah, you have a ton to play for this Kitsune, and that's probably what's going to happen here on this corner fight.
The Kitsune rush does come out. Same with the Blossom. The Blossom's going to be perfectly positioned. Shuts down 3. And Yoda's trying to escape with the bot, but I don't think he's going to be able to find it. Invictus does catch Teddy M, though. So a nice pulse bomb from him. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though, as the point is going to be regained.
If Invictus dies here on this off angle, it's going to be very sad. They need to get a full regroup as a team, and that does come back on this Farah now.
And situationally, this Farah works out so well. I think it's a good swap that they can pull out at any moment to just be extraordinarily oppressive to the side of the Kathmandu Kiwis, because now Mikey's forced to mark a flying target. Can't really get much damage onto that, but it may not matter if Purple Jesus goes in. But no, he's actually going to get traded out by Yoda, so the cage fight is up. But Yoda's surviving it, and he's even thriving in it, as now he's just jumping in, finds Tribatron, gets the stun out onto her, and Invictus may be traded out, but the support line for the Kathmandu Kiwis are none the healthier, as they're hunting down Teddy M, seeing if they can find it, and yes, with the help of Scent, they can.
Yeah, I mean, that's just such an amazing fight. You know, get Cage out, have Corey's online, Yoda online, and all we gotta play for is just like this Cage and get this lead going. You know, this is like a very important couple of fights for the Fishermen to even gain that lead.
Definitely have the chance to here. They will need 2 fights to take it overall. The Kathmandu Kiwis do go for the explosion out onto the high ground, but it's going to be Yoda with the cage fight, and so much damage is coming in off the back of that as well. Mikey's looking to turn this, but he can't do anything in this situation. His teammates are just exploding all around him. The stabilization is just so good. Loki tries to invest the Death Blossom, but isn't going to find anything with it, so now multiple wasted ultimates for the Kathmandu Kiwis, as the Fishermen managed to survive through it.
Yeah, the Kiwis are kind of dropping their pasta. You know, they got that high ground for free, and they chose to drop way too early before even Charb has her ultimate online. And now they have to play for this long angle.
Yeah, and they have so much they need to do here. Loki does make the swap over onto the Cassidy to try to get a bit more mark out onto the Pharah. The beat is going to come early from Kathek, though, and leaves Purple Jesus into a very dangerous spot. A nice brush from Scent, but gets caught out for it. It's traded his life for Purple Jesus is, but Mikey's caught on the back line. So now the major carry players for the Kathmandu Kiwis have fallen down. It's just the supports, and Yoda's going to press this aggression yet again. Suzer's been forced out. Teddy M can't escape, and Charbatron does manage to get out with her life. But the lead is slowly coming in favor of the Farmington Fishermen.
Yeah, it's one more fight you gotta win. You know, just gotta play for this Kitsune / Kai. You know, everyone's so low, they gotta Kai. I feel like before they get rushed by Teddy. But it seems like the Kiwis are preoccupied, and Fishermen's ultimates come online earlier.
Yeah, and Mikey with the pulse doesn't manage to catch necessarily anything, but does find one. Kiwis investing a lot of ultimates into this fight, and they are going to be able to win it out there and keep the lead in their favor. Invictus managing to stay alive on the backline. So good at that, being that stable backline pressure that they need. And now I'm looking towards both tanks with the cage fights coming online for the Malgus. Yeah.
I mean, realistically, the Fisherman's like cage fight, Mirror should just win out. But they find an amazing pick onto Loki early.
And that's so big, because now you can just win this neutral. You have so much more damage. Yoda just does so much more on the back line here, forces out the TP, and now they're just going to be hunting, but no, it's going to be trades coming in. The Kathmandu Kiwis looking to turn this on the back line. A cage fight comes in, and an exchange one as well, but Yoda looks so much more healthy here. Teddy M tasked with keeping him up, but they can't do wonders in the final moments, as Yoda manages to turn this fight all the way around. The pulse does stick onto him though, so that's a lot of damage shut down on the point. It's so scrappy for either side. It's just a question of who can stabilize better in this position. Invictus working wonders on the back line, and Scent with nice shot to clean up Mikey. 30 seconds remaining though, and this cannot be any closer. Map 5, and it's going to be a question of who has more to give.
I have a feeling one of these Lucios is gonna Ajax this fight, and I'm really nervous. That being said though, Corey has this rush early online to be able to set this tempo and get this lead, and ultimately probably the win for the reverse sweep.
And Corey's posturing for it. They need to click it soon, otherwise Teddy M's gonna get one of his own, and they're gonna be looking for it here. Sense pushing in, has forced to recall out though, and Invictus falls early. That's such a massive amount of damage lost. Tribatron with her ult online. Teddy M with an exchange of rush here. Yoda needs to find some stabilization. Both beats exchange at the exact same time. No advantage found. Centurion looks to find something. Is he going to be able to get it? No, but a lot of damage found out. Mikey gets the pulse, gets the stick. Loki's in with the Death Blossom, and that's going to be clean up. That's going to be over. That's going to be a 3-2 victory for the Kathmandu Kiwis.
What an intense last fight, you know. Holy.
And in the final moments, they do manage to just eke it out. And a great showing from both teams overall. Showing why they deserve to be in the playoffs, but unfortunately only one could stay. And that's going to be the Kathmandu Kiwis. Going to face the Shanghai Sailors, aka us, next week.
Who's us?
Us. Be you and knock on wood. Or hiring him to the Shanghai Sailors too.
We aren't affiliated with the Shanghai right now. Alright, but let's go into our MVP discussion. Who do you think deserves it for today's performances?
I mean, you can shout out a lot of people on the Kiwis. I'm mostly looking towards Loki, in my opinion. I think
I totally agree, 100%.
The ability to like play two different roles and do so well on both of them and be the hero in a lot of fights for the Kiwis. He's the person who's tasked with not only swapping his role but also counter swapping the other players. Hang on, I gotta let the people who can drag Loki into Discord know that Loki's gonna join up. But yeah, I think single-handedly Loki did it for the Kiwis.
100%. You know, that was my kind of opinion. Either that or Mikey. Mikey's been having like insane clutches. And welcome, Mikey Broke. No, never mind. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong channel. Welcome, Loki. I was about to say, did we get the wrong Drake?
Hello.
Welcome. Congrats on your MVP.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So talk to me about Loki. Talk to me about how you guys really stabilized and won out that last map in the last moments. Obviously, a very close brawl between both you and the Farmington Fishermen, but in the last moments, the pick is found on Invictus. What were the comms like? What was the energy like?
Energy was very, very high. We had PJ yelling at us that we need to go in. We had Teddy calling out. He almost had Kitsune. It was very, very intense, but it all worked out, so I can't complain about anything.
Yeah, nice. And yeah, talk to me about, I mean, the team this season, you guys have looked good throughout. You're the second seed in your division, and you managed to take home a very close match against the Fishermen. How's the season been for you guys overall?
It started off a little bit rough, but after we figured out our lineups and when we wanted to sub in Char and when we want to sub in Ninja Drew, it's been great ever since. I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't think we've had back-to-back losses, maybe one, but overall, like, PJ and Mikey were really cooking with our comps, and it's showing off.
Yeah. So when you're talking about those comps and talking specifically about those counter swaps, because I know you're one of the people who look to swap to maybe counter Scent going on a different hero, Centurion, or maybe even Invictus going on a different hero. Who's really the one that's calling those ideas? Is that you or is that really PJ and Mikey?
It depends. Sometimes, I'll see the fire swap and I'll go, "Oh, my Reaper's not going to do anything against this." And then other times it's Mikey or PJ saying, "Hey, Cass might be stronger here," or "Hey, they have a Reaper. I would also like a Reaper." So it's just whoever sees it first.
Yeah, I mean, take me to like your next match. You know, like how excited are you? You know, you don't have to spill the tea, right? Because you do have some ops in the stream, in the chat. You know, don't know who, but
I'm excited for our next match. I remember playing them the first time. Actually, I don't think I was there the first time. Either way, I think that we're going to come back stronger, and I think that we're going to give them a run for their money.
yeah, no, it's for sure gonna be a great battle.
Yeah, no promises though.
Yeah. And talk to me a little bit about, I mean, you signed up on DPS, you have filled the support role extraordinarily well, if I do say so myself. So, how has it been like playing multiple roles on this team?
Well, it's funny you say that because I don't think I remember signing up for support, but we threw me on Ana, and the only reason that comp works is because I have an amazing break player, whether that be HB, who wasn't here today, or Teddy, and they kind of heal and protect me. I just hold their hand and basically DPS and just find nades. And so it's great for me because I don't die and I get a DPS still, and it's somehow helping. I don't know how stressful it is for my break player, but
We'll
Who
have
cares
to-
about break
Yeah,
players?
yeah. Who cares about big players? Honestly, as a main support, they suck.
oh,
Anyways,
okay.
um, any other questions, Neptune, or do we move on to El Clasico?
I think it's gotta be time for El Clasico. I can't really think of any more questions I have.
Oh wait, I got one. Loki, you're a rookie. How you liking the league so far?
It's a lot of fun. I love the draft system. I love the team I was able to be put on. Like, PJ's a great captain. I have no complaints.
Nice, love to see it. Anyways, El Clasico time. Loki, congratulations on your win. If you were not the map MVP for the Kathmandu Kiwis, who would be?
I probably have to give it to Charb. Charb's Lucio was amazing, and it kind of carried us every single map that she was in.
Let's go.
Getting some support action in the MVP nominations, that's
Yep.
always great to see.
We love the support action. Charbatron, honestly, the best. Shout out Charbatron.
Yeah, especially on that Cervasa, I noticed like a great beat and like keeping that first point winnable.
Definitely.